Hello and welcome. Today we start The Mastery of Self, a Toltec Guide to Personal Freedom by Don Miguel Ruiz Jr. Enjoy. Emancipate yourself from mental slavery. None but ourselves could free our minds. Bob Marley. A moment of clarity without any action is just a thought that passes in the wind. But a moment of clarity followed by an action is a pivotal moment in our lives. Don Miguel Ruiz Jr. A message from the publisher how this book came into being. Know thyself. These were the words inscribed at the entrance of the Temple of Apollo, home of the Oracle of Delphi, arguably the most famous woman in all of ancient Greece. History tells us that thousands upon thousands of people, including kings, queens, statesmen, philosophers, and common people alike, would travel hundreds of miles or more to receive her prophetic guidance every year. The temple itself was a towering structure that reached its pinnacle of influence in the middle centuries of the first millennia BCE. At that time, it was considered the most important religious shrine in all of Greece. Building a massive temple like this, even with our advanced machinery and modern technology, would still be a major undertaking by today's standards. Modern architects marvel at the intelligence, craftsmanship, and labor that went into creating this temple. But I find it more fascinating that all the messages that could have been written at its entrance, the two-word axiom, know thyself, was chosen. Perhaps the oracle wanted to be sure that if you remembered only one message from your pilgrimage, then knowing yourself should be it. I often wonder what the world would look like today if some of our modern religions taught that self-knowledge, rather than a blind adherence to external guidance and dogma, was the paramount goal of the spiritual path. Not long after the zenith of the oracle, on the other side of the world, a group of people came together to form a new civilization in what is now central Mexico. They called themselves Toltec, which means artist. But these people were not artists in the traditional sense, although some were painters and sculptors also. Rather, they saw themselves as artists of life, and they would inhabit and the world we inhabit was a canvas upon which they painted their masterpiece. The legacy of the Toltecs and their teachings have been handed down from generation to generation, often in secrecy when the politics of the day required it. And Don Miguel Ruiz Jr., the latest teacher in the Eagle Knight lineage of the Toltec people. When Miguel approached me about writing a book on self-mastery, I couldn't help but think of the Oracle of Delphi and her 2,500-year-old instructions to know thyself. I wondered how this sage advice would appear in the context of his Toltec ancestry. The book you're holding now, I am pleased to say, conveys exactly this, and much, much more. Miguel presents ancient wisdom in a modern way, and helps us to apply this timeless truth of knowing thyself in our everyday lives. In the opening chapter, Miguel lays the groundwork for the book, providing a framework based on the Toltec tradition. He explains how the events and actions of the past have shaped your present reality. The following chapters are where he really digs in, giving you the tools you need to discover who you are at the deepest level, uncover any self-limiting beliefs you have falsely accepted as fact, and release any attachments that you're holding on to continuously that drag you down. The later chapters will help you chart a new course to where you really want to go, which for some of you may be a very different place than where you are currently heading. Miguel has stressed to me on many occasions that it is not enough just to read the information contained in these pages. It's when you choose to incorporate this knowledge into your life that you receive the benefits. And to this aim, he has included exercises at the end of many chapters that are designed to help you do just that. Returning to the Greek world for a moment, we may say that these exercises where the logos, or knowledge, becomes praxis, or practice. Or, as Miguel writes, understanding the teachings is the first step, but applying them is what makes you a master. So without further ado, it is with great pleasure that I present to you Don Miguel Ruiz Jr., The Mastery of Self. May it serve you well on your journey of self-discovery. Randy Davila, the publisher of Hierophant Publishing.